Act like a human being and not a drone or a robot. We know that a drone is controlled by ground control. Somebody's there pressing buttons, causing that drone to move around and do what it needs to do. And when that drone gets away from ground control and they lose connection, it's programmed to automatically fly in a circle until it runs out of gas and crashes, if that's what happens. You and I have the ability to be a human being, which is given the gift of choosing how we're going to think and feel about what happens. We don't have to react to what happens, and that's what a robot is. You press a button or whatever and it reacts. You hit a switch or you program a key and a drone begins to do what you want it to do. It doesn't choose, it reacts. And a lot of people just react to what happens around them or to them. Somebody says something, they react with anger. Somebody doesn't do something, they react with hurt. And it's important to remind ourselves that we have a choice. The book of Genesis says that God gave people dominion and authority. Dominion and authority. Adam and Eve were allowed to name the animals. This is symbolic. Symbolic. You and I have the ability to name the kinds of thoughts we want to think. You and I have been given dominion to choose our response to life. This is freedom. Stephen Covey first pointed out in the 7 Habits of Highly Effective an experience that changed his life. He was on a sabbatical in Hawaii, and he just pulled a book off the shelf. He was walking through the library and opened it. And there he read something that changed his life and changed a lot of people's lives. It was a sentence that said, between every stimulus and every response is a gap. Between every stimulus and every response is a gap. Stimulus, somebody says something, something happens. Your response to what happens, to what's said. Between that is the gap, which is where we can choose how we're going to respond to what happens. That's where our freedom, our greatest freedom, lies, is in that gap. And everybody has a different gap. Some people have a bigger gap than other people, you know? And the more we use and make that choice, the bigger that gap grows. Because everyone's been raised with different environments. People have been raised and conditioned. In my family, a lot of people have a quick fuse. Quick fuse. Annoyance, irritated on a fuse. Now, how do you grow up in an environment like that and just have it suddenly go away? You don't. But you have the freedom to become aware of what comes up in you and then how you're going to respond. And that's to be a human being rather than a drone or a computer, a robot that just reacts.